Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Erik Voss, and Fantastic Four First Steps is hiding a mystery cameo teased in a censored rap party photo of Pedro Pascal, and we figured out exactly who this cameo is, but also we spent way too much time of in-depth social media investigation to deduce the precise context and timeline in which this photo is taken, and censored by whom, and then screen grabbed and shared for us to find it. And while this video is going to come off as some obsessive Pepe Sylvia dot connecting that no one in their right mind has asked for or should be doing, we are still going to present this full research process to you, dear viewer, so that you can see the lengths New Rockstars is willing to go to on a daily basis to provide you the nerdy insights that you love, and in this case, to fully explain why we can actually look forward to a Marvel Studios Fantastic Four First Steps film featuring the full Council of Reeds, every version of Reed Richards that we have seen from across the cinematic multiverse. A reminder that the best way to support New Rockstars in these completely unnecessary endeavors is to grab something from our merch store, nerdriot.shop, all of which makes a perfect holiday gift option. We have our Doctor Doom inspired New Mask Same Task shirt that I think you'll really love. Again, nerdriot.shop. Okay, all of this started when this photo of Pedro Pascal was posted to Twitter, or X, on November 30th. On the same day, Fantastic Four First Steps was reported to have wrapped production. In this photo, Pedro Pascal sits beside a mystery figure whose face has been obscured with a digital blur effect, and an animated crown has been added atop their head. We feel confident that this is from the Fantastic Four First Steps wrap party, because in the background on the right, there is someone wearing the Four logo hat. Production for this film had recently shifted to Oviedo, Spain, and now, reportedly, this wrap party took place back in London on Saturday, November 30th. This photo was posted to Twitter initially by an account called Cedar Stacks, which seems to be a Vanessa Kirby fan account. Now, I don't think this account expected to get this much attention, because when various Fantastic Four related accounts began to repost it, this account initially tried to keep up with the replies, but eventually just kind of had to move on. At first, they confirmed to one reply that they saw the post that day, meaning on November 30th. Then, when questioned about the source, this account said that they didn't know when the photo was taken and wasn't aware production had wrapped, and they also claimed that the photo was originally posted by someone that they had been following for months, but that they didn't want to blow up some random civilian's Instagram. But this isn't any random civilian. It's someone who was in the wrap party from Fantastic Four First Steps, sitting across the table from Pedro Pascal. So this means that this Twitter Vanessa Kirby fan account has another account on Instagram where they follow someone connected to the Fantastic Four production, someone who posted this shot of Pedro Pascal as an Instagram story and then edited the photo to blur out the face and add the crown. Let's analyze who this mystery face is, who they took a photo of. Immediately, fans jump to the conclusion that it must be Robert Downey Jr., who is expected to join this cast as Victor Von Doom. Others wondered if it could be Tom Holland or Chris Evans. Well, it's not Chris Evans. Chris Evans, in recent weeks, has been in Greece filming the movie Sacrifice, and there is a big clue in this image that rules out the other two immediately: the Peroni beer glass. Robert Downey Jr. has been sober since 2003. Tom Holland has been sober since 2022, which he has recently talked a lot about with the release of his new non-alcoholic beer brand, Biro. And I can tell you, Biro ain't in that pint glass. It's not going to be poured at any London pub. Also, you can barely see the pointed chin of this person, and it is covered in gray stubble. So we are looking for 1, someone with gray stubble and an angular chin; 2, someone who's slender and presumably male; 3, someone who drinks beer; 4, someone whom whoever took this photo would consider a king compared to Pedro Pascal, perhaps a reference to what Pedro Pascal and this mystery figure were joking about in this moment; and someone who would join the Fantastic Four rap party and not worry too much about being recognized. Like, in other words, this wouldn't be a major A-lister celebrity whose every move and travel activity would be tracked religiously by fans online and paparazzi. Like, if it were Robert Downey Jr., he would have been spotted in London by journalists and fans on the street with their cell phones. Also worth considering is the fact that on November 22nd in Spain, a mystery figure was seen escorted from trailers to the soundstage for Fantastic Four First Steps, this person's head covered in a dark blanket to conceal their identity. This was posted to Twitter/X by user MyBad7. The person in the video seems to be male and slender with a distinct size of feet. So, after careful visual analysis, we've determined that this person's build, their slimness, their height, plus the mystery figure and Pedro Pascal's angular chin with gray stubble all points to one person: Ioan Gruffudd, who played Reed Richards, aka Mr. Fantastic, in 2005's Fantastic Four and 2007's Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer. When you look at various recent images of Ioan Gruffudd posted to his Instagram, he certainly has a bit of salt in that stubble, and he has a pointed chin just like the figure in the photo. Arguably, that was a big reason why he was cast for the 2005 film. You can also see some other videos where he seems to have the same build as a person who was escorted from the trailer to the set in the My Bad 7 video. Griffith hasn't posted to his Instagram since early October, and he was posting more regularly earlier this year related to his role in Bad Boys Ride or Die. So I'm sure you could certainly imagine Pedro Pascal and whoever took this photo considering Ioan Gruffudd the king, since he starred in the first 2 major studio Fantastic Four films, and they wanted to pay respect to him. Gruffudd is a known actor, but he doesn't have like a rabid fan following that figures like Robert Downey Jr. and Tom Holland have. Like if Ioan Gruffudd shows up at a pub, there's not going to be a huge gaggle of press waiting outside. But this would also suggest that Ioan Gruffudd has some cameo role in this film, and it connects the dots with other clues we received in the Fantastic Four concept trailer footage, and a particular line in Deadpool and Wolverine. We've all had that moment where you're getting ready to leave the house, you grab your keys and your wallet by the door, and then you cram your wallet into your pocket and you realize it's so bulky that your once comfortable pants are now uncomfortably snug. Time for a wallet upgrade. Ekster makes wallets that are half the size of conventional wallets while still having room for 12 cards plus cash. Ekster has a signature trigger mechanism that makes accessing your cards as simple as clicking a button. Plus, built-in RFID blocking keeps those cards safe from wireless skimming and data theft. Ekster's solar-powered tracker card lets you track your wallet's location with your phone. Just charge it for 2 hours in the sun, and for the next 3 months, you'll be able to use a 2-way ringing feature or receive separation alerts so you never lose your wallet again. Also, Ekster wallets are environmentally friendly, using materials like vegan Italian leather and space-grade aluminum rather than plastics and petroleum derivatives. Enjoy Ekster's Christmas sale of up to 55% off from December 9th to December 25th. Just use the code NEWROCKSTARS at checkout to enjoy further savings. What does a Ioan Gruffudd cameo mean for Fantastic Four First Steps? Well, Pedro Pascal's Reed Richards, even meeting other Reed Richardses from alternate Earths, was teased in the very first concept trailer footage that we saw at San Diego Comic-Con and at D23. Reed, hosting his Fantastic Science with Mr. Fantastic, lectures the kids, quote, "This equation not only confirms alternate dimensions, it suggests that all our Earths exist on separate dimensional planes." So we are looking at a multiverse movie, and Reed is going to be the tip of that spear. Also, remember in Deadpool and Wolverine, Chris Evans' Johnny Storm in The Void mentions the Reed Richards from his universe.
Reed called it a metaphysical junkyard, where anything useless goes before it gets annihilated forever.
Yeah, he's referring to Ioan Gruffudd's Reed Richards from the 2005 and 2007 films. That version of Reed is out there somewhere in the multiverse, and he has been studying the void of the MCU and the incursions that are connecting these worlds. So that's why I think we're looking at a Council of Reeds sequence in the First Steps film, which would include Pedro Pascal from this film, Ioan Gruffudd from the 2005 and 2007 Tim Story films, Miles Teller from the 2015 Joshua Trank film, John Krasinski from the 838 universe and 2022's Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness directed by Sam Raimi, and perhaps even Alex Hyde White from the 1994 Roger Corman Fantastic Four. And remember, John Krasinski's Reed Richards had this interesting reaction to Doctor Strange's line in Multiverse of Madness.
Fantastic Four. Didn't you guys chart in the 60s?
I'm sorry.
Now, obviously, this is a callback to Strange's encyclopedic knowledge of music and who charted when, and of course, a play on the foursome team name. But I've also always wondered if he might have known a Reed from another universe in which the Fantastic Four did exist in an alternate 1963. Now, after San Diego Comic-Con, Entertainment Weekly asked the cast of this film and director Matt Shackman about their relationship to past iterations of the cast.
People have asked me about, like, how is this different than the other ones, and I don't think it's helpful to make something in opposition to something else. You know, we're just really making our own specific thing. This is no discredit to those movies, but we're telling our very specific story. And like any great play, you know, you could like cast a play with 4 people and then recast with 4 different people, and it's the same play, but it's a completely different experience.
But I'll leave you with this question: does investigating all of this information about Fantastic Four First Steps before it comes out make you more excited or less excited? The reason I ask is because some studies have shown over the years that certain audiences and readers prefer knowing what's going to happen in the stories they consume, because it changes a stressful nail-biting experience into more of an anticipatory one, in which our long-awaited expectations are just merely fulfilled, and we as human beings are psychologically coded to feel more elation from knowing the path ahead than we are when we are truly shocked and surprised by it. I don't know if I agree with that theory, but it does explain why so many of us go into Marvel movies learning as much as we can about them, and those diehards tend to be the people who enjoy these titles the most, even if some of their theories are wrong. But I want to know from you. Comment down below with your thoughts. Follow me at EA Voss. Subscribe to all 3 channels in the New Rockstars network for breakdowns and news coverage of everything you love. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.